Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto, the first canto, chapter 8, text 1 to 5. So this chapter contains three pastimes, we can say. The first is we will discuss today what happened with the after the bottle of Kurukshetra, the performing of the last rituals, the consolation of the family members who lost their husband or family member. And the second is the story of Uttara. Ashvatthama will throw again Brahmastra to kill the embryo in her womb, which is Parikshit Maharaj. And Krishna will save him. That's the second pastime in this chapter. And the third pastime is the pastime of Krishna leaving Hastinapur and Mother Queen Kunti praying to him, offering prayers to Lord Krishna and requesting him to stay longer. So these are three pastimes in one chapter, and we will discuss the first today, these first 5 verses of chapter 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sutavacha Atete Samparitanam Svanam Udakam Ichatam Datum Sakrishna Gangayam Puraskritya Jayushtraya. A great translation, purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. So, Sutta Goswami said, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to the Ganges with Draupadi. The ladies walked in front. Purport. To date, it is the custom in Hindu society to go to the Ganges or any other sacred river to take bath when death occurs in the family. Each of the family members pours out a potful of Ganges water for the departed soul and walks in a procession with the ladies in front. The Pandavas also followed the rules more than 5,000 years ago. Lord Krishna, being a cousin of the Pandavas, was also amongst the family members. Text 2. Teni niyodakam sarve vilapya sabrisham punaha apluta hari padapja rajaputa saritshale. Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. 3. Tatrashinam Kupatim Tritarashtam Sahanujam Gandarim Putra Sukhartam Pritam Krishnam Samadava. There sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with his younger brothers and Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there. Purport. The Battle of Kurukshetra was fought between family members. and thus all affected persons were also family members like Maharaj Yudhishthir and brothers. Kunti, Draupadi, Subhadra, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and her daughters-in-law, etc. All the principal dead bodies were in some way or other related with each other, and therefore the family grief was combined. Lord Krishna was also one of them, as a cousin of the Pandavas and nephew of Kunti, as well as brother of Subhadra, etc. The Lord therefore was equally sympathetic towards all of them, therefore he began to pacify them fittingly. Text 4. Santvayam samuni bir hatta bandun shudarpitam Bhuteshu kalasya gatim dasyamna pratikriyam. Citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living beings, Lord Sri Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected. Report. The stringent laws of material nature, under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be altered by any living entity. The living entities are eternally under subjugation of the Almighty Lord. The Lord makes all the laws and orders, and these laws and orders are generally called dharma or religion. No one can create any religious formula. Bona fide religion is to abide by the orders of the Lord. The Lord's orders are clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should follow him only or his orders, and that will make all happy, both materially and spiritually. As long as we are in the material world, out of duty is to follow the orders of the Lord, and if by the grace of the Lord we are liberated from the clutches of the material world, then in our liberated stage, also we can render transcendental loving service unto the Lord. In our material stage, we can see neither ourselves nor the Lord for want of spiritual vision. But when we are liberated from material affection and are situated in our original spiritual form, we can see both ourselves and the Lord face to face. Mukti means to be reinstated in one's original spiritual status after giving up the material conception of life. Therefore, the human life is specifically meant for qualifying ourselves for this spiritual liberty. Unfortunately, under the influence of the illusory material energy, we accept this spot life of only a few years as our permanent existence, and thus become illusioned by possessing so-called country, home, land, children, wife, community, wealth, etc., which are false representations created by Maya. And under the dictation of Maya, we fight with one another to protect these false possessions. By cultivating spiritual knowledge, we can realize that we have nothing to do with this material paraphernalia. Then at once we become free from material attachment. This clearance of the misgivings of material existence at once takes place by association with the Lord's devotees, who are able to inject the transcendental sound in the depths of the bewildered heart, and thus make one practically liberated from all lamentation and illusion. That is a summary of the pacifying measures of those affected by the actions of the stringent material laws exhibited in the forms of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are insoluble factors of material existence. The victims of war, namely the family members of the chorus, were lamenting the problems of death, and the Lord pacified them on the basis of knowledge. So I read this verse again, citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living beings. Lord Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected. Now the last verse of this section. Satyayitva jata satro svam rajam kitaveritam Ijatayitva satorachya kachasparsa ksatayusa. Translation: The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhishthir, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died, their duration of life having decreased for their rough handling of the hair of Queen Draupadi. Purport: In the glorious days, or before the advent of the age of Kali, the Brahmins, the cows, the women, the children, and the old men were properly given protection. The protection of the Brahmins maintains the institution of Varna and Ashram, the most scientific culture for attainment of spiritual knowledge. The protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food. This is milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain for understanding higher aims of life. The protection of women maintains the chastity of society, by which we can get a good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress of life. The protection of children gives the human form of life its best chance to prepare the way of liberty for material bondage. Such protection of children begins from the very day of begetting a child by the purificatory process of Garbhadan Samskar, the beginning of pure life. The protection of the old man gives them a chance to prepare themselves for better life after death. This complete outlook is based on factors leading to successful humanity as against the civilization of polished cats and dogs. The killing of the above-mentioned innocent creatures is totally forbidden, because even by insulting them one loses one's duration of life. In the age of Kali, they are not properly protected, and therefore the duration of life of the present generation has shortened considerably. In the Bhagavad Gita is stated that when the women become unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Varnasankar. To insult a chaste woman means to bring about disaster in the duration of life. Dushasana, brother of Duryodhana, insulted Draupadi, an ideal chaste lady, and therefore the miscreants died untimely. These are some of the stringent laws of the Lord mentioned. Om Ajnana Timandasya Jananjan Sanaka Sakshunvitam Yena Tasmai Shigurve Namah Chitchaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhuttam Svamrapakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandiyam Shiyu Shiyuda Padkamalam Shiyam Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Sagasatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Stanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakanalita Shikshakam Vitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kansani Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabham Sutta Devi Pranamama Hari Priya Pankha Kalptra Vishakri Pasana Vivisha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavin Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charasvanti Namini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskachaya Desatam. So, Lord Krishna be here in previous verse is consoling everyone with spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge gives us the broader picture. If we are, then we understand we are really that we are really transient in this world. We are just passing through a body. We are just here for a few years, Srila Prabhupada writes. And then if one understands one internal position, that then one understands I've nothing to do with this material world. That I'm a temporary visitor here, going from one body to the next, and that creates a mood of detachment in the heart. Therefore, it's important for us who are candidates for making spiritual advancement that we regularly read Bhagavad Gita, especially, that and to understand our real position. If we don't see the broader picture, then we see just the moment of enjoyment, and we think we are the body. We enter into a life, an illusory life of being the body. It is a cause of all suffering that we hear then that, yes, in verse 4 here, verse 5, yeah, that was verse 5 here, that Duryodhana tried to usurp the kingdom of Yudhishthira Maharaj. But there are the stringent laws of material nature. One cannot act outside of these laws. So what is Dharma? Dharma means to abide by the laws of the Supreme Person, personality of God, the laws of God. That is Dharma. And these laws are only enunciated, are only created by the Supreme Lord. They are stringent, nobody can overcome them. So when Duryodhana, so that's important for us to understand these stringent laws of material nature, that there's action, reaction, and the reaction must come upon our actions, unless we act as a spirit soul in Krishna consciousness for the pleasure of Krishna out of love. We get reactions, and you cannot stop these reactions. They will have to come. That when Dushashan he tried to disrobe Draupadi and mishandled her, abused her by untying her hair. But Draupadi was a pure devotee, and Krishna decided at that moment, yes, all the hair bundles of all these wives of the Kurus will also be untied. It means they will become widows. And thus, so that reaction was created at that time already. And there's no way to stop this reaction. That this is just that in this world, everyone thinks I can do whatever I want. But there are these subtle laws of material nature. And these laws are there. You don't see them. You can say they don't exist. That, but still, whether you believe whether they exist or not, you will have to endure the reactions. You will get the reactions. That because in the Vedic society, the Vedic culture was called Varnashram, and it was a culture in which everyone should be protected especially women should be protected. And they were, and Dushasan and Duryodhan were doing just the opposite. That they decreased their life by the rough handling of hair of Queen Draupadi. It means that when we take birth, we have a maximum duration of life, and you cannot get one breath more than what is allotted to you. That's your span of life. But if you abuse your situation, you perform vikarma, sinful activities, you will reduce your span of life. What does it mean? That yes, because we are going, it is explained in Bhagavad Gita, but also in Sri Upanishad, the Isa Bhasya principle. Isa means a controller. Isa Avasya. This principle that explains that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, not to us. So yes, if we violate that principle, we perform sinful activities. That if we think things belongs to us in this world and are for my enjoyment, that without considering the real proprietor, which is Krishna, you get reactions, heavy reactions. And that's vikarma. These are sinful activities. You take the property of someone else and you want to enjoy it. Everything is a property of Krishna and is meant for his enjoyment. These are the stringent laws. And we are allotted a quota, she is Upanishad said. A quota for like you get a quota of food, which is for your maintenance of your body. Get a quota of food to keep the body and soul together, to keep it healthy. But if you take more than your quota, then that's vikarma. That's not your right. You are taking the quota of someone else. That's not allotted to you to take more than you need. And so if you eat more, you will get diseased or you'll get overweight and you'll reduce your span of life. These are the stringent laws. We cannot go against it. But an ideal society who follows the laws of God is called varnashram. And that's a society where everyone is protected. Everyone is protected in that society. And therefore it's a peaceful society. And that's mentioned in the purport here. That the protection of the Brahmins, that's the first category. Brahmins must be protected because they are the head of society. They are guiding everyone in the following of these laws of God. That they are educating everyone in spiritual knowledge. So it's most important they are protected. But the Brahmins, they are protecting the Kshatriyas, the administrators, because they instruct the administrators how to act according to the laws of God. And that's their protection. And therefore the Kshatriyas, they always abide to the instructions of the Brahmins. And in return, the Kshatriyas, they protect the Brahmins physically. And then you have the Vaishyas. The Vaishyas, they make sure that everyone, because also the Brahmins, they give instructions to the Kshatriyas, but they give education to everyone. And education is free. They don't have to pay for it. So everyone has high quality education for free. And then the Kshatriyas, they protect everyone, so you don't have to worry about your protection. That's taken care of. And the Vaishyas, they feed everyone, so they make sure everyone has food and clothes, what they need. And the Sudras, they are assisting the Vaishyas and the Kshatriyas and the Brahmins in their duty. And that's also very important. It's a mutual cooperation based on following the laws of God. And then that creates a spiritual society. And the basis of spiritual culture is protection. First, protection of the Brahmins. So Prabhupada, he mentioned these 5 categories: Brahmins, cows, women, children, and then old men. They must all be protected. In a society who does not protect these 5 categories, it's not a human society, Prabhupada said. It's an animal society. And it's based on vikarma, sinful activities. And it creates wars. They start to fight with each other, thinking this land is mine, but they are here only for a few years. It belongs to Krishna, not to them. Completely an illusion. If we don't follow the laws of God, we are in illusion. And then protection of cows. Very important. Because cows means, protecting cows means pleasing Krishna. And Prabhupada writes here, the cows give miracle food, this milk. And milk helps one to develop the finer tissues in the brain so that we can start to understand higher aims of life, spiritual life. So if we protect the Brahmins and the cows, all auspiciousness will come into our lives. But do they protect cows in modern society? No. They open slaughterhouses. They kill them. They poison them with so many injections. When they get old, they are killed, but they don't give milk anymore. This is a cause of wars and so many problems we see today. So many wars, so many things are happening. Mostly people who are meat eaters. It's rampant. Of course, we can never see their previous lives, but nothing happens by chance. But then, third point, the protection of women maintains the chastity of society. You see, in Arjuna is making that point at the end of the first chapter. He says, yes, that, and he speaks many verses about that. He says, when irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, or descendant of Krishna, comes unwanted progeny, so they are not protected anymore. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water is entirely stopped by the evil deeds of those who destroy family tradition and thus give rise of unwanted children. All kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O maintainer of all the people, I've heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. So we can imagine, we cannot imagine what the consequences are. And that in modern life, they want to put women and men on the same platform by law. That, but we see the women in our society, are they happy? Mostly they marry a few years in this Kali Yuga, and then no man anymore. The man is gone. They are alone with a child. That's and it's a world which is so dangerous for women, because all men are lusty and try to exploit women. But in the Varnashram system, that was not there. That women were satisfied. They were protected. And that did not mean that they did not have freedom. They had freedom. But of a different kind than they imagine in this modern society. And then the protection of children. That protection of children means educate them in Krishna consciousness. And that protection starts with the Garbhadan samskara. Before conceiving a child, there is a samskar one must perform that to attract the pure soul. There it begins. This is subtle science, spiritual science. And then there are the protection of the old man, who gives them a chance to prepare for a better life after death. Yes, if old men are not protected, it's not easy for them to perform spiritual activities till the end of their lives. It's the duty to take care of the parents. This is the Vedic injunction. So these are 5 categories. These are 5 categories which need to be protected according to the Varnashram system, a cultured and peaceful society where we need a peaceful society to make spiritual progress. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada became more and more aware that his outlook through the years of Varnashram changed. In the 60s, this was not his emphasis, but it became gradually more and more his emphasis as he saw how his disciples were struggling in this society. Therefore, we need our own society, within the society, where our communities, where Varnashram principles are followed. That because we cannot get food anymore, pure food, it's all contaminated. So we should prepare our own food, and protect our children, and protect the cows, and create a class of Brahmins. This is all very important in the development of our movement, that we give more and more priority to this Varnashram. So that is what Srila Prabhupada explains here further in the purport. These 5 levels of 5 levels of 5 categories must be protected, and therefore we must make this a priority in our society to ensure that all these 5 categories are protected. If the senior devotees are nicely protected, they will bless us. And the Brahmins, when they are protected, they will give us all blessings and spiritual knowledge. And the cows give us all we need, that the cow dung for cultivating the land, that every year I visit an upcoming Parnasham project in Bulgaria, and they have nearly 20 cows. They give milk and cow dung, and they are doing agriculture, greenhouses using the cow dung, and they get a very nice produce of vegetables. And we must educate our children in Krishna consciousness, protect them against the slaughterhouses of modern education. Modern education, they make you think that you are the body. That's their underlying theme. That is what they are instructing. It's very dangerous. So yes, this is real culture, spiritual culture. Any question, comments?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj, explaining about the protecting these 5 classes and sections of community. Maharaj, a specific question about if we have a conflicting priorities, for example, focusing on farm and developing the farm and developing the cows versus preaching. So how to balance that if we don't have enough capacity?
Yeah, that what's very important here is that we have a desire. We should make a plan and have a desire to execute that plan for Krishna and pray to Krishna. And if we are enthusiastic about it and we have faith in, Krishna will empower us. That is a principle. Because Lakshmi is with Krishna, and when he sees that devotees really want to please the spiritual master of Krishna, she empowers them also. So we can only do our best. That I'm here in Radhadesh, and we struggled many years, and now the project is really expanding. It's going nice. But many times we had no means. I remember in 97 we were sitting. We had a Brahminical Council of 98, Brahminical Council, and we decided in that council that we would build a guest house, a big guest house. We had no means, we had only debts. nothing we had. But we became enthusiastic, and we contacted an architect. Some devotees spoke with an architect, made plans. Another devotee, many devotees started to fundraise. That other devotees started to clear out the land where it should come and remove the rocks and so on. And 5 years later, we had a big guest house here. We had nothing, only debts. So how can we explain this? But the devotees had faith, yes, we will do it, because we were thinking we need a guest house. In this castle, we have only a few rooms, but we want to receive hundreds of guests. And now the guest house is there already 15 years, and it's booked 1 year in advance. So we need a second guest house. We are making plan for the next guest house. And they built a goshala and so on. So gradually, it came that just we need faith, patience, and make plans. And pray to Krishna, please, we want to please you. If you so desire, please help us to execute these plans. That's what I could say on that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. This is helpful. Thank you.
Something else?
So, Maharaj, if you have a couple of... Go ahead, bro.
No, I can wait. You go ahead.
No worries, bro. Please go ahead, because I already asked one question. So please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. You're most kind. Maharaj, I'm sorry, but I didn't have the time to write my question. So I will speak it. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Yes, Maharaj, the last part of the purport to the text number 5 speaks about the chastity of women.
Yeah.
And the quote
yeah.
Yes, is quote in the Bhagavad Gita. It is stated that when the women become unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Varna Sankara, unquote. So, Maharaj, to be very straightforward and direct, my question is related to a woman being chaste, related to the details. For example, and details in what sense? For example, when I see a female devotee seated on the Vyasa-san for the purpose of lecturing on Srimad Bhagavatam, without her head covered by the sari or by a scarf or by any kind of tissue, immediately, if I may say it, I become like suspicious of how prepared and qualified is this female speaker, just because of the detail which shows that she does have her head covered, and when I and maybe this is just a detail, but I have been hearing that the saying that love is in the details. So my exact question is it that to take in consideration the details related to being chaste, mostly when the female devotee is operating and functioning and presenting herself in public forums. For example, seated on the Vyasasana for the lecturing of Srimad Bhagavatam to a vast audience, like who knows, in an auditorium with what, 10, 20, 50, 100 people. But she doesn't have her head covered by the sari or by any kind of tissue. And this may be understood as just a detail, but my exact question is, to what measure paying attention to the details will make a woman, a female devotee, more chaste or less chaste? Sort of, that is would be my question.
Thank you for your question.
You're welcome, Maharaj.
That yes, I would say being chaste.
Yeah, yes, Maharaj. The exact question is, being chaste is also paying attention to details?
The details can be a sign that the consciousness of the person sitting on the Vyasasana may not be right. But that may be a sign. We may also be mistaken. We cannot see in the heart of that person that real chastity means being chaste to Krishna's instructions. And yeah, Krishna is pleased when our head is covered. That, but when the head of a woman is covered, that is true. But still, it's not a reason that we should think this person is not chaste. This person may be very committed to Krishna's mission. So that detail may give rise to a problem in the conscience of the person, yes or no. But the detail in itself is not a sign that there is something wrong in the conscience of that person. That may be or that may not be. By externals, we cannot not judge the internal. And that is mostly a breeding ground of offenses on our part. We have to be careful. Although it's a general principle that women should cover their hair, that's pleasing Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, and the spiritual master. But if the women does not do that, that does not mean that there's a problem in the consciousness or a wrong attitude. It may be, it may be not. So that would be my answer.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good. Thank you. Next week, because Friday I'm flying to New York, if Krishna willing. I will try to be next Wednesday online, but I must see first whether I have good internet in the ashram there and whether or not I have to give lectures or have other assignments they planned for me. But I will let you know by Monday. And I look forward to see you online next week or at least in a few weeks, I will be in Deland from the 11th and 12th February, from the 5th till the 12th of February. Looking forward to see you, some of you there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada.
Hare
Be in
Krishna.
safe flight, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Bol.